to talk about modes. And I'm not going to get into the music theory, technical terms, or mechanics of modes. You can find that information anywhere. What I want to do is provide some insight in how to make music with modes. This is a great way for beginners to make music. So I'm going to show you the workflow you can follow to start creating your own sounds. I'm going to assume that most of my viewers know the note names on the piano, but if you don't, you'll get by just fine. It isn't necessary to know note names or any theory at all. All you have to do is be able to count from 1 to 5, and I'll show you how. So the first thing you want to do to capture a mode is to pick a note, any white key. In this case, I'm going to pick F. And then you want to find your range, and that's going to be pretty much any other F on the keyboard. Let's call this our 1. So the next thing we want to do is find our 5th. This is going to be the most consonant note to the 1. So we don't even need to know note names. We could just count up a 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 5 is going to be our kind of secondary note. So we have our prime note and our second note, and we could just kind of rock back and forth between these two like clockwork. 1, 5, and this makes a good bass line for us to go through some ideas in our right hand. So starting on our F, so all you need to think about is how that made you feel. You don't really need to know the note names, theory, or anything. Just keep in mind how that one felt to you, and if you like it, keep going with it. If not, you can pick another mode. We can try a darker mode. We can try D. This will give us a darker mode. So we find our D. We pick our range. That's going to be every note from D to D. Then we find our 5th. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can pivot back and forth between these two. This could be our bass line. And now we can run through some ideas with this. So that one was a little darker, and if you like that, you can keep going with that. There's 7 different modes, and they all have different feelings. So if you want to experiment with the other modes, all you have to do is pick a note on the keyboard, find the 5th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, do this little bass line, and then starting on your 1, which is E in this case, so you don't even need to know theory, you don't need to know note names. All you need to know is this little workflow. Even experienced musicians treat modes as some advanced theory concept, but I tend to argue that modes are useful for people even with no musical experience to start making music.